What is up, everybody? My name is Christoph here, and alongside me is...
Brianna. Hey, what's up, everybody?
This is ExtraNormal Podcast, where we tell abnormal stories for these extra normal times.
Okay.
Before we forget, make sure if you're listening on your favorite podcast machines, devices, apps, or if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you catch us, make sure you give a like and subscribe and follow and give us stars if you're friendly. If you're not nice, then I would say move along, but
Keep a moving.
keep them moving. But make sure you do that. I always forget to say that. How are you, Brianna?
I'm doing well. Been very, very busy lately, which I cannot complain about. Funny story, when we put our little one down this evening,
Oh my god!
as schools
Oh my
as
god!
school's coming to an end, she got all worked up because we put her in like a enrichment program that continues for like another 3 weeks after her like last week of school. And I mean, she was just like mortified. She just like started bawling, crying. But yeah, so she she's just done. We've had her, we've keep that kid busy. And we're very lucky. We cannot complain. Like, she actually likes school. She actually tries way harder than I ever did in school. So I'm just very thankful for her, and she does deserve a break. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, no, listen, like when I was her age, I was all about the summer. I would have been probably furious.
Same.
I wasn't very vocal though. I wouldn't have been like outwardly furious. I would have been internalizing it.
You know what I
Raging
hated?
inside.
Although I loved my I loved my grandmother, but I think like I grew more love for her as I got older and appreciation. But every summer, like when me and my brother were like her age, like around 9 years old, 10, 11, every year my mom would take us to my grandma's house and keep us there for like a month. And I remember just looking at the calendar every day and just counting down the days. So that was kind of like my summer torture, was having to go and hang out at my grandparents when I just wanted to be home. And we had a bunch of neighborhood friends, so I wanted to go with my friends and play because my grandma kind of lived far away. So, it's that was my torture in a different way.
I didn't have as much grandma time. Hey, I have a question for you. But I want to ask you something. If you were working as a janitor in a hospital
Mm-hmm.
and a surgeon asked you to jump into a procedure, like to seriously help out, would you do that or would you call your manager?
Wait, you mean like I would have to go under to have a procedure done
No,
to
you
me?
wouldn't. You would have to help out with the procedure. Like you would grab
If
the scalpel.
Yeah,
You would?
I
You
mean,
would have the confidence to be like,
okay.
okay, I'm
It's
gonna put
okay.
me in, coach.
Here's the first scenario. If it was a surgeon and his assistant like dropped dead or fucking called out last minute and he was already like needy in the surgery, or and I knew, if I was like some nurse and had some kind of experience, I mean, I would do what I could to help. Even if I didn't, I would be like, just tell me what
Can
you
I at
want me
least
to
mop
do.
up?
Like, I
Can I at
mean,
least clean up?
help your fellow neighbor.
But you would have the confidence. Like I would be scared as shit that
I
I would
think
be
you
like,
don't I don't think you think about that
you on
in the
instincts.
moment.
It's
I
fight or
think it's
flight,
just
and you're fighting
yeah.
for that whatever that person's.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking you is because there was actually a German surgeon who got fired because this was a surgeon, full blown,
Mhm.
certified, medicalized,
Yeah.
bona fide surgeon. He was shorthanded.
Mhm.
Excuse the pun. You'll find out why that's a pun in a few. But he was shorthanded, and he was like, just look at. So he asked a hospital cleaner, so a janitor, to assist with an amputation. And let me read on from AP News. So officials at a hospital in Western Germany have expressed regret. Yeah, you think, after it emerged that one of their surgeons got a cleaner to assist in a toe amputation. Well, that's not that bad. I feel like if they're like, if you gotta perform open heart surgery, yeah, I'm probably gonna bow out. But if they're like, you just gotta lob off a toe, maybe I'm on board. Maybe I'm like, I could do that. It's a toe. It's like the smallest amputation you could do. It's like a mini amputation.
Yeah.
I think I'd be okay with a toe.
A toe.
A toe.
Baby toe.
baby toe. If like anything more, if they're like, we need to cut off the leg.
We are Italian heritage of my people, of part of my people and my family. Um, we called the baby toe a govadilly.
Did you really? What's a ghirardelli?
Govadilly is
That's a
like
chocolate.
gnocchi. It's like, you know,
So you call it gnocchis?
yeah.
It
So
kind of looks like
where
it.
my family's from in Italy, we make homemade gnocchis. If you don't know what that is, like Google it
It's
or
a gabadilli. That's what it is.
yeah. And so like
Whatever that means.
it basically looks like your baby toe the way that you form the pasta. It's a potato pasta. And it looks like, you know, like the baby toe is kind of round. That's
Yeah. I gotta ask you because, like, we talked about the Mandela effect, and
Mhm.
I heard gavadellis like way more fucking frequently than gnocchis, and I've never had a gavadelli before I met you. So,
Really?
yeah, why is gavadelli like? Maybe it just sounds super Italian, so people are like,
Gavadilli?
"What?
Gavadilli.
Gavadelli?"
I feel like the way you're saying it is like Girardelli,
I
like
don't know. Public broadcast
chocolate.
to SWR reported Friday that the incident at the Mainz University Hospital, which happened in 2020, apparently this is a few years old, didn't result in any complications to the patient, but the doctor has been since been fired. So they fired him for that. Um, so it went off well.
Yeah.
Would that
It
inspire?
went
I feel
off
like,
well.
yeah, it came off well. Would that inspire you to go to fucking medical school if they're like, I got this, and like they're like,
Okay, can I sound like a fucking asshole? You can totally edit this out if you want, but we're live. Like, no offense to the doctors watching this, but I already kind of feel like there's been plenty of times, and you know, I being with me, there's been a lot of times where I've gone to doctors, different doctors getting different opinions and
mm-hmm.
actually diagnosing myself with whatever
With
issues that I have.
WebMD.
And I feel like just do like it's just kind of frustrating when you're like over here like, well, why do they get paid so much? You know?
They get
Like,
paid a lot.
you
There's
know,
a lot of
and
nice
I have
houses that
in
don't
the
give you that.
salon, like I have like we have these like same conversations over and over about the same exact thing, and it's so
Yeah,
frustrating, you know. Or I'll give the doctor, hey, well, do you think this can help my case or whatever? Oh yeah, like oh yeah, you should. It's like, well, this has been going on for 6 months, like
yeah.
so so. I mean, maybe I don't
For
think honestly like I am really bad at taking exams. Like even just I get very nervous and I like I just overthink everything, and
yeah,
so I think it would be for me, it would probably be so aging and exhausting for me that I probably wouldn't.
it's a tough sledge. Like you got to take a. I think you have to major in biology or something like that. I don't know. Clearly, we don't. Neither one of us are doctors or anywhere close to doctors. What would be the discount that would cause like so if what would be the amount that you would be saving that would tempt you to go for a major surgery, like say a major surgery with a like a medical certified doctor was $200,000,
Mhm.
but there was someone who did it a few times for and they were like offering it for like $20,000. Would you do that? Would you for the $180,000
I
savings?
mean,
What's the threshold for you?
when I got my I had LASIK, like the life people are like the people listening to this podcast are like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? You could have went blind." But the guy that did my LASIK, he
He was
was
not certified.
newer to the industry.
Okay.
And
But he was fully on board, like,
he
everything was
yeah,
above
yeah, yeah.
okay.
And I mean, he was booked. But my mom, of course, you know, my it's crazy Italian mother, very
Mhm.
overprotective, still treats me like I'm 3 years old, and always will. And so so she did research and she didn't want to tell me, but in the you know the research it was like he was only I think he'd only been doing it for like a couple years, but at least I think
That's not that
cheers,
bad.
yeah,
That's not that bad.
yeah. I mean,
That's
he
not
did
that bad.
burn my eyes a little
Did
bit,
you get it
so
oh,
thanks for the.
did you get, like, a newbie discount? I don't remember.
It was like a COVID discount. It was like when
It was a
things
COVID
it was
discount,
things
okay.
started to open up and, you know, like, we weren't doing anything, so I actually was saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
When going out to
it was
conferences.
like I was sick of wearing glasses
Yeah.
and pretty much, you remember, paid for it almost all in cash. You called it, like, my drug money because I just had stashes of
Well, because you were like
wads of cash in places.
Yeah, you were like a cartel like leader, like having stuff in the fucking floorboards, like cash just in case you got
Well, I
raided.
have to hide it from you.
Okay, that's there's nothing
I
like
have my
trust in a
I have my
relationship.
stashes.
Okay, well that's we gotta talk about trust off air. Um, that's crazy. I think let me
No, you know, I'm always if
okay
we ever need anything, you know that I'm always like,
put
"Take
it
it."
out of take it out of the floorboards.
Yeah, well, even even when you had, like, your dentist stuff, I was like 'cause I have this stash going right now for our Italy trip, and I was like, "Here, use it for your teeth."
Oh, um, listen to this. This changed my mind on it. I was like, this doctor's kind of quacky. I don't know if I want him practicing, but the patient apparently, like the janitor apparently was only like his only response, he or she's only responsibility was hold down the leg because the anesthesia was getting a little wobbly.
They couldn't even do that?
That's what they did. That's how they assisted. They didn't even get to like wield the saw. Do they use saws? How do they amputate these days? Is it lasers?
I think it's still a saw, but I don't think it's like the
I'm
old school,
guessing it's
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 probably
not.
like,
No, you think
electric.
it's a power saw? You think it's plugged in? But how far away from we from lasers? Come on.
Yeah, it's probably laser.
It's probably not laser. Not for a leg.
Pew,
We're not talking
pew.
about eyes. And this is not fucking Star Wars
It's
yet. He takes out his
could you
lightsaber.
imagine? It's like, vrr.
I would
What color would you like?
if they gave me the option, we're like, we could use a traditional
Oh,
whatever they use
I want the fucking
or a
lightsaber.
fake lightsaber. I would like just give me the lightsaber.
Fake, not fake.
There's
That's
no
a legit lightsaber. If it cuts you in half, that's a
no, but I'm saying
legit.
there's no lightsaber that would it would
How do
just
you
be
know?
like a
You're
glowing
not from a
blade.
galaxy far, far away.
I'm not. We talked about I don't know if I got your feelings on it. The
Or
Star Wars like cruise fucking experience at Disney World in Orlando shutting down after 18 months, $90 million price tag. It's done. People don't want to
I
be
think because I didn't
locked in
know too much
solitary.
about it. I think if like when they opened the Star Wars line here,
Yeah,
there was so much hype because it's like it's in our own backyard, so it was
sure.
like super excited. But I didn't even hear about that. I think I would have been more bothered if I lived in Florida, but I'm glad that I don't.
Why? Why would you be bothered if you lived in Florida?
The humidity,
Oh, just in general, just living in Florida in general. The
I
alligators,
mean,
the gator people. Florida's
the
a strange.
political views.
Some of the social views like are pretty weird. Like I don't know if I saw. I was meaning to tell you that apparently there's some anti drag queen fucking bill that just passed. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Everybody look it up and see what it means. But I did see that because of that, Maynard Keenan from Tool, he played a concert like 2 days after that anti drag
Mhm.
bill. I don't know what again.
In
I don't.
drag
He
there.
played it in
I
drag.
fucking love it.
It was pretty
That's so
cool.
good.
He didn't
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good
I'm
look on him,
gonna
but
say this like on here because I don't give a fuck. But
okay.
I was really annoyed. I had bought like something really cute. I have a salon in Costa Mesa and I had bought a really cute thing for the bathroom that is like kind of like just
Gender
any
neutral,
gender.
unisex. Like
Yeah, like it's
anybody
like
can shit in
there's
here.
there's basically like there's the male, there's a female, and
We
then
all
there's
shit.
one that's both, and then at the bottom there's like an alien, and it's just kind of like we don't care, just wash your hands. And apparently we had some like really crazy Christian, supposedly Christian customers come in and they didn't like it. So the other person that runs the shop with me was like, I don't like this. I don't want to put this up. And I just was like, like as I am a Christian, and for me being a Christian, I feel like I am not here to judge anybody, and I love everybody. And if you want to be gender neutral, if you want to be a drag queen, if you want to be transgender, I love you. Like
Aw.
I don't care.
Oh.
Like I don't judge you. I'm judging you for your soul. Are you a good person? Are you not racist? Are you not discriminating? Like so it's just that's the one thing I hate about Christianity because it makes the people like me that actually get it, not saying that I'm like a perfect Christian by any means cuz I have fucking flaws on I just
Jesus told us none of it was perfect, right?
Yeah, no,
except
constantly.
for
So
him.
so it's
Isn't that
like
what he said?
it
I don't
said
know the
yeah, and it's always
I don't
talking about, like, no judgment and that kinda stuff. So
He's
it's
like,
very like
"Hey, brother, no judgment."
you're not getting the memo, like, stop judging, like, let people live their lives. You don't have to understand it. And if you wanna understand it, then fucking just talk to them. Like so many, like, trans people, I have a lot of friends that are trans. They're so open and so wonderful, and then I have clients that, they are non-binary, and, like, we can talk about this kind of stuff, and if I accidentally call them a he or a she, like, they don't get mad because they know it's coming from a place of, like, I didn't do it on purpose, and, so I think it's just really about being open-minded and respecting everybody, and loving everybody, and that was a message I think that God always wanted, and these organized religions have fucked it up for the rest of us that do have faith. So, and I always tell, like, my gay friends or anybody in the LGBTQ community, do not give up faith, because, like, you are accepted, like, you are. Just because society, these assholes over here don't accept you, doesn't mean our Father doesn't. So
I think that
that's my rant.
yeah.
Now let's talk about orgasms. Let's go
No,
from Christianity to
I
dick.
listen, it's like, especially with a single unit bathroom, like, who could possibly give a shit enough to, like, not want a sign that just says, if
I
you
was
gotta take a
so
dump,
annoyed.
go for it.
I
Like,
was so annoyed, but, like, as a professional,
you
like,
gotta,
I
like,
realized, yeah,
coach.
like, this is somebody that I've worked with for a very long time, and it's like, and it's funny because I don't like, their lifestyle isn't the lifestyle I would ever choose for myself, and so, but I can just, like, kind of, the way that they are, just kind of, like, overlook it and not focus on it. So as much as it does really fucking bother me, like, again, like, turn the other cheek.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And I just, the people, I feel like so many people, like, for whatever reason, it's been super politicized, like, the whole, like, trans thing. It's just like, all of a sudden, like, it's like everybody wants to talk about their, like everybody who's, like, anti-trans wants to talk about how, like, trans are, like, ruining everything.
Demonic
Like, they
and
just, like,
everything, yeah.
it's in the, they just want to talk about that.
It's for me, like, I mean, you obviously know, like, the first, like, trans person I ever met was somebody that was a baby. It was a child, and that was the realization for me, because I
Wait,
have
what?
I had
I
a
lost a connection.
I'm not gonna say names because,
But no, but you're saying, I'm not gonna
like,
tell you, I'm not asking you to say names, but you said, but you met them.
I met them as a child.
Got it.
I saw this child on a regular basis, and it would identify as a girl.
Got it.
And the mom in the beginning was very like, I don't know what to do about this. Like, and kind
Sure.
of like, this should be your kid. Like, cause I'm a drag queen stuck in a female's body. And I was just always very more open to anybody and everything. And, but I saw this child grow up, and this child was never comfortable in their own skin. And I was like, if you can sit here and say, like, oh, social media is brainwashing people to be trans and brainwashing people to be non-binary, it's not true. Like, I've seen it. I've seen a baby that never felt comfortable in their own skin and would tell their mom that, like, why do I look like this, mommy? Like, and so it gets me so worked up, because it's like people just want to feel the way that they should feel. It's like me dyeing my hair. It's like me wearing makeup. It's like me dressing extravagant. Like, if I just had my normal brown hair color and just dressed like everybody else, I would feel uncomfortable. I put on a brown wig for him and I felt so uncomfortable. So, and I'm not trying to compare, because I'm just saying that, like, in a sense, like, we have to do what feels the best for us and makes us feel whole as a person. And nobody has to understand it, but
Oh no, you don't.
we
People
need to
should.
have acceptance and love and respect. And that's like the ticket for me. And, it's like, everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. No one has to agree with me or them, but they need to accept them. They need to respect them just as they would want to be respected, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about the do no harm thing, and I know that there's the anti-trans folks will say that, oh, it's doing harm to the kids. I'm not seeing that, like, because
No.
our little one has been like, exposed to people who are
I mean,
trans, who are
you've
friends,
dressed in drag when she was, like, 3, like,
and
so
and
she's used to her dad
she's a sweet
dressing as a
girl
girl.
who is just she's doing all the right things in my opinion, and she's a good kid. I don't like exposing her to trans people has not affected her negatively in any way.
No.
I don't think it does. Listen,
Yeah,
I
and there
don't.
has been, like, people like my mom was just like, because I have friends that are, like, gay
Mhm.
and in relationships, and she's been like, my mom's like, "Oh, don't hang around with them, like, she's gonna get confused." I'm like, "That's why I'm here. I'm here to guide her, to
Yeah.
help her understand that love is love, and we love everybody, and we accept everybody no matter what they look like." And that's exactly what we've done, and she does slip up sometimes, like, we have some friends where the female dresses more butch, and she's called them a he, and but my friends know, like, obviously we're not teaching them to be disrespectful. My daughter she's just a child, and so she sees what she sees, and that's why we're here to guide her and just be like, "Oh no, like, remember, like, she identifies as a girl still. She just likes to have short hair and dress, like, a little bit more tomboyish, and that's okay. We accept everybody." And then it's kind of like when we reiterate that, my daughter just like, "Oh, yeah," like, and she gets it. Like, it's not like, stop. Like, it's just let people be, you know?
People should have just be able to live their fucking life and whatever. As long as you're not doing any harm to anybody. Well, who
Right.
gives a shit? Who gives a
So
shit?
that's our tangent on that subject.
So I
And
gotta ask you a question that actually inspired a question.
Hmm.
If you, what would you do? All right. So you had a sign. You put up a sign
Mhm.
that said anybody welcome, including aliens. You could take a dump in here, right?
Mhm.
What if there was somehow you got word, you got confirmation that an alien
Oh god.
took a massive shit in your toilet, but you didn't have any interaction with him. You can't kidnap that alien. You can't ask him questions. You can't ask him if
I
he's
have a
having lunch with
question.
Bill Clinton
Did he
later.
flush the toilet? Or did they
No,
flush the toilet?
no,
The
no.
shit's still in there.
The alien left an upper decker.
I'm gonna put that shit in a bag
Yeah,
with gloves on, of course. And,
sure.
God, I wonder what their poop would look like.
We
What do you
don't
guys think
know.
alien poop would look like?
Do aliens need to shit at this point?
They don't, I
Are
mean,
they
they say
over it?
that the Greys don't have mouths, so,
They don't.
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, they say that
So what do
there
they
is
do?
telepathic, like,
But then you can't eat
so
telepathically
it's kind of
if you
like,
don't have a
well, when
hole.
you think,
You
because
gotta have a hole to stick it in. That's my
I know
motto.
that, oh my god. I know that you believe in, the Darwin theory. So
Uh huh.
so if the aliens evolved, if they
Uh,
say they once had mouths, but then they learned how to speak to each other telepathically,
uh
they wouldn't need a mouth. So maybe over time it just,
Sealed up.
yeah, or it's like, because they say a lot of the greys have these tiny little mouths, so they don't really need
Oh,
them.
they just like straw mouths because it's all juices.
Maybe it's for
They're on an all
little
juice
dicks.
diet. That's why they're so.
A little dick diet.
That's why they're so svelte because it's like it's all juice diet. But
Speaking of little dick di are you done with this conversation? Are you still,
no, I want to know. Like, wow.
I wanna ask you something.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this
Let me tell you something.
before I forget.
What?
What would you do with that? Would you like break off a little piece for the scientists? Would you keep
Break
it
me off.
all?
Show me what you got.
Would you
'Cause I just want some alien dick.
would you just have like a turd in a case and try to convince all your friends that it's alien shit, not some
I would I'm going to, like, I'm acting like this is really gonna happen,
what are
but
you
if it
gonna
happened,
do?
I would tell everybody.
Of course you would tell
I
everybody.
would come on TikTok live and
Okay,
be
got
like,
it.
"I have
Thank God you
alien
finished that
if
sentence.
I have alien shit inside this file, and I'm going to drink it." Just kidding. Oh,
Do you think you can convince people that it's
oh,
alien shit
yeah.
without like hiring a scientist and
All the
science is like,
schizophrenic
this
people
is
will believe me with no problem.
but would you donate any of that to
To
the
science? Hell yeah. I just, like, wouldn't wanna, like, I don't want them to capture the alien. If I found an alien, if, like, say that there was, like, a Roswell situation in our backyard,
all that was left
um,
was the brown matter?
I would do, like, whatever I could to, like, to hide them.
Mhm.
I've already thought, these are ideas I already thought
Uh-huh.
about, okay, if I've ever found, like, a ET, like, ET phone home,
We all thought
I
about it
would
because of the
I
ET
was
movie.
like, I definitely would hide him in the attic, or I don't even know if they're a
Whatever.
gender,
The
like, I
the
don't,
alien. cares?
the alien being.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely put him inside the attic, and I would hopefully be able to feed it. It probably won't eat all of our nasty processed food here.
No. What if it's like it? Well, it wasn't like ET was into Reese's Pieces. What if it was just eating Reese's Pieces? Or
I
Twinkies.
love that movie
That's
so
a good.
much.
It's a good movie. It drags a little bit. Going back to it, it drags a little
fucking
bit.
drags this motherfucker.
I like that movie. I have a lot of nostalgia for that movie.
It does not drag. It's
it drags a little
fucking
bit.
amazing. Can you
It
believe
drags
this
a little
guy?
bit. It's a little slow in the beginning.
This is live, and he's talking shit on the movie
So
E.T.
slow.
How
It's
dare
great.
you?
Hey, listen, it's an important piece of film history. Pick it up, Steven. Mr. Spielberg, pick it up.
So we have requests from some very good listeners and friends, and they thought this would be
That's good because I'm not a good listener.
very good subject. I have to burp. Okay, sorry.
Does this involve your segue about little dicks?
I mean, no, you can't have an orgasm from
so
those.
we're just gonna.
So basically, it's about ugly face orgasm. Like if like the ugliest face someone's ever made during an orgasm.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that this was Lewis's idea. Shout out to Lewis. We love you. But yeah, so that's like the segue. I don't know how we're supposed to find out. I think
like a contest. Do you want people to fucking submit pictures of their face?
Well, let's see. Like our live people right now. Like if people listening, you guys can email us if you guys make ugly faces when you orgasm. We don't need to see them. Please don't send us any more porno.
Anymore. What kind of emails are you getting?
We've seen enough. Don't slide into our DMs.
Wait.
But yeah, like I personally think I make the ugliest face when I orgasm, so I try to change my face.
But guys are the worst. Guys are worse than girls.
But it's hard for me to orgasm. So like when I'm like there, it's like my eye starts to like I'm there, but I'm like almost there, and then it goes away, and then so when it's finally there, I'm like, oh, like I know I make I know I.
Hey, you guys!
Do I look like that?
No, you don't.
You're a liar. You're sweet.
It's in the fucking motion. But guys make worse faces. We could all agree universally that guys they make dumb faces.
Yeah,
they turn into
that's pretty good. You do look like that.
Like little
you
babies.
Guys want to see? Hold on, I want the live people to see
Why?
that.
Why?
Make the face.
Just what the
everybody wants to see your orgasm.
Like
I think you lean your head back more though.
That's me.
That's
no, but it's like I think one of the things is like guys like when they like get it done, like they
get her
done, they are losing so much of their like the power is in the semen. And so when they lose it, it's just so pathetic. It's like,
hey, we come too.
I know that, but it's more heir apparent. Like when you spooge, like it's out there.
Spoogey woogey.
And you made a mess. Like it's just like it's more
nasty.
I think it's more pathetic for guys. So it's just like a thing. I don't know.
So I found a new conspiracy theory. You probably already heard of it. Some of our listeners might have heard of it, but it's new to me, and I was really excited. And I found it this morning.
Okay.
From one of my favorite people I follow that talks about flat Earth. Does anybody believe the Earth's flat? Can somebody give me a amen out there? The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
So wait, hold on. Before is this what we're gonna?
It's not about the Earth being flat. But I'm open minded to the idea.
Of course you are.
I'm open minded to everything. I don't ever
listen.
Science has been wrong, and it evolves. And
yes,
I haven't been to space yet.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I can't say I've looked back and seen around Earth.
Here's one of the things. Yeah, I know that, but there's plenty of pictures and stuff like that. And also,
there's plenty of pictures.
Scientists are wrong and they evolve. You know what scientists believe way back in the day?
That it was flat.
Exactly.
So they could go from flat.
Backwards.
They could go from flat, circle, flat, circle, flat.
That's
flat,
because
circle,
they didn't really chart the Earth yet. They were just like, I guess if I go that far, I'm gonna fall off. Like, nobody went around yet.
Yeah.
When they thought it was flat.
Anyways. So, have you heard of the Tartarian Empire?
Tartarian Empire.
Not the Targaryen. Not the. I kept thinking like, oh my gosh, maybe that's where Game of Thrones
HBO Max
got the idea from. Because there's actually a movie from
Tartar.
from the 19 they were called the Tartar peel.
I
Tartar
like them already.
sauce. Um, but in 1961, there's been movies about like this civilization.
Okay.
And this is where it gets like super controversial, like especially like from people from China. But they're saying that this civilization um, actually were the ones who built the Great Wall, and that's why when you know how you're allowed to, like, walk the Great Wall, you no one's ever allowed you no one's ever really finished it because it's so long, but
Mm-hmm.
supposedly, like, in Beijing, there's, like, this forbidden empire that you're not allowed to go to, and it has the Great Walls, like, blocking it, and that's
Still?
supposedly
Wait,
yeah,
still?
you can't go to it, and that you can Google it. Google.
Okay.
But I was just so blown away, and I was looking, like, as much as, little tidbits of information I could get, and of course, there was, like, the skeptics and all this stuff, but I was just like, "Wow," and they're saying, like, our architecture, um, was all originated from them. They were, an advanced civilization, had advanced technology,
Okay.
and you could see in our old maps, there was a place, like, called um Tartarian, and then it disappeared like over time, and then some some people believe that, like, oh, that's because it was called the place that lived like around that area at the
Mm-hmm.
time. Is there a police officer outside? I see lights flashing.
Let me go check.
Go check.
This
Maybe
is
it was
real
that
life.
asshole. I'm gonna talk to my live people. You can cut this out on our video. Someone broke in my car last night.
Didn't break in.
They broke into my car. They didn't take anything though.
So you were saying before just for the recording end of it, we had a pause for a second. That's why it might be a little hiccupy because there was some. We live right next to a high school, not to dox us ourselves, but we there was some high school kids running around, senior whatever.
Prank day. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever that is.
I remember I did that. Did I ever
I
tell you
did
what I
that.
did? What I did for our prank? I
No.
should have totally been arrested. Like we drove on. So I don't know if there's any Inland Empire people here.
Mm-hmm. No,
But
not
I
me.
went to Chino High School. Chino, and our rival school was Don Lugo. Um, and I drove my friend's car on campus,
Okay.
and we drove like illegally, like on the sidewalk, and to get through because it was all gated. And we went back and just like kind of like fucked around and took pictures and then left. But we're like,
And that would have got you arrested? I mean, I guess
well,
technically. But
we drove on the sidewalk, like we broke
you
into,
drove on the
yeah,
sidewalk?
but it was like one of those like bigger
It's the middle of the
sidewalks,
night. Who gives a shit?
and it was all like gated,
I
but
think
we were able to like get in the sidewalk.
that's crazy.
But yeah,
Can I
was
tell you
like,
something embarrassing?
sure.
We used to, so I was a band kid.
He
Surprise,
says
surprise.
band kid, but
Band geek.
there you go.
Band geek.
That's big.
It
There's
goes
nothing
without
wrong with
saying.
that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed my
It's a
time.
wonderful thing,
I enjoyed my time with the
especially
trumpet.
if you played the flute.
I did not. Well, not the instrument. No, I enjoy my time. I don't have any regrets. So we were band, and for any new band geeks, I'm just gonna refer to them as geeks, just so you understand.
New band geeks.
New band geeks, like freshmen
in high school right now.
So we were after freshman year, and I got initiated. We would do initiations where we would it was almost like a hazing thing for band.
What the?
Yeah, and we would just do like we would spend all nighters, and we would just like throw random shit on there. And this is for fucking band. And we would have a
I really missed out, guys.
It wasn't too cruel, but it was pretty.
Really missed out. I should have joined the band.
You should have. You could have thrown.
I was more of a drama geek.
Mustard on a band.
I still am
geek.
a drama geek.
It's almost like for that, it felt like it was weird because it was like the bullied being the bullies a little bit.
Oh
yeah.
But
we weren't too bad. It wasn't so like some of the hazings that you hear about in college.
Hey, I always thought guys that were musicians were hot. So,
but not those type of musicians. You were like, hey, look at that guy playing that fucking trombone.
You know what it was? Okay, here's what it was for me about the band geeks in school. Yeah. They were like a cult. It's like we had a big tree at our school,
Okay.
and they hung
Wow.
out around the tree.
Nice school.
And they were just right there around the tree every day, and there was hundreds of them.
Guess where?
They
Guess
were
where?
they
I
were
hung out
they
during
were a
lunch.
bigger by a tree.
I hung out by a big
Stop.
tree.
Stop.
There's a big tree.
Is it like a universal bad geek thing? Because we
But
went
no,
to
no. So we had
Are you serious?
like
I'm
wannabe
dead.
like musicians, like all of us played like, but we had like people like in like, I'm not gonna say names that people don't know, but we had like people play guitar and stuff like that. So it was kind of like the outcast tree, and as opposed like in
Like
a
cool
band.
outcasts?
I guess.
Because let me tell you, I don't know one person that was a man that was like a cool outcast.
But there was like the outcast, like there was like band kids, and then there was like musician kids like who had their own bands and stuff like that. But it was like, like garage band shit that wasn't like, you weren't like a football jock or whatever. It was that kind of outcasty tree.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
tree of
Okay, Buena
outcasts.
Park. Okay. Chino was
It was actually
not so
technically in
much.
Anaheim.
Oh, whatever.
Technically Anaheim. I grew up in Buena Park, but that's cool. Anyways, who cares? Tartar sauce.
So before we had to get off because we thought we were endangered. We thought we were endangered species at our house. I was like looking up some stuff, like didn't want to go like too heavy into it because I was like, one, he's the guy sitting across from me is not going to be too excited about it. And two, it was like,
Why would
if I do really like this, maybe we can actually do like a full episode
But
on
why
it.
would you think I was to get
Because
into
I thought
like
maybe like you already heard about the conspiracy theory. You're like, oh god, that's not real. So I was just
I
like,
already started looking up the Tartar.
I know you
people.
did. Yeah, and you're gonna find all
Apparently, like
these things that
Genghis Khan was like thrown in with them. Like it was incorporated by Genghis
Asia,
Khan.
like they say that they're like before
Russia
before the
now.
Mongols. But see, that's where it gets like tricky because it's like it talks about like the Mongols, like where they were like part of it, but then parts of Russia were part of it. So it was like kind of like all over,
Were the Hell's Angels involved at all or no? Biker gang joke. I did it.
You did it.
And it didn't work.
But here's the irony, because
I'll take
we
ownership
know
of
it's
that.
like the Mongols were like a pretty gnarly, right? Like
the Genghis Khan's Mongols,
yes.
yeah, were they brutal?
Yes. So
was every
here's where
invading.
that's contradictory. Like
Right.
the history of the Tartarian Empire, not Targaryen. I know. Like
I know.
I look like I could be one, right? The pink one. Dracarys. Is that how you say it? Sorry.
Focus in. Focus.
I blame it on my ADD. Yes. Anyways, so the Tartarian Empire was known to be like more of like a house and love. So
Peace and
they
love.
have to have been like pre-Mongolian Mongols, like that, like
yeah,
before the Mongolians decided to
well,
go.
I think Mongols are fairly nice to like. Genghis Khan was nice if you were Mongol, but if you were like outside of the group, that's when he was brutal because he was like, you had
like
to
you're
instill
against
fear.
us, yeah.
So
what I was saying, I think right before we like left the live a little while ago, I thought it was really fascinating and like controversial that these claims in this conspiracy is that like the Great Wall of China was actually was built by the Tartarian. Like, so if this conspiracy is real, like that can like cause a lot of issues. Like, I can see the Chinese being very proud. Like I mean, you look at the Great Wall of China and you're just like, this is phenomenal.
Sure.
And you can't even walk it all in one day. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's miles and miles and miles long.
Might take
But
you
they say when you get to the other part of it, there's parts where you can't go because it's like in different directions.
It's all janky now at this point, right?
Well, no, because
I think they don't
in
let you go
Beijing
'cause it's janky.
they don't want you to know about this. It was like this forbidden palace. They still talk about the forbidden palace.
Okay.
And so the question is like, what happened to the Tartarian Empire? Were they
Well, they're
killed
definitely
off?
Tartarians in Russia, like Tartarian, like people of Tartarian descent in Russia. for sure.
Oh yeah, there's still a descent,
Yeah.
but like this original like group of people, which was supposedly a very large group,
Hmm.
um, they had the advanced technology. You know, there was also they talked about like their ruler was like of giants and things
Hmm.
like that. So there's like a lot of just different theories when I was like picking up stuff, and I thought it was really fascinating. And I really want to look more into like Game of Thrones now if um, the Targaryens were actually maybe like named after them, and they
Possibility.
just switched up to instead of Tartarian to Targaryen because I mean in the end we all know we all knew it was written wrong in the end. Y'all can agree with me,
Wait,
right?
what?
Like,
What was written
well,
wrong?
the how it all ended was not the way it should have ended.
Oh, are you talking about
Yeah,
game? I thought
where
thought in real life
Khaleesi's
was like
like,
you
no,
taking a political
no,
take on
yeah,
this.
no, no. Um, but some say that maybe the civilization is still going strong somewhere, and it's forbidden because they've
Underground. But what
basically.
are they doing? Why is it? Is
Well,
it
some
like
people say
Wakanda?
that
They have some natural resource that they're hiding from.
I don't know. You know me.
Because this just
I'm all
sounds like a
into that
plot to a
stuff.
Marvel movie at this point.
Wakanda forever.
It just it sounds like Wakanda.
I believe that that's a real thing.
Wakanda?
I Yes.
Wait, you think Wakanda actually
I think
exists, or
that, well,
some
maybe
form
not the
of
some form of like 'cause
like a
and like the
secret?
Amazonian women, it's the same thing. It's like you're just like do
I
like
think
there's like islands somewhere that are hidden somehow.
we've
Because even
charted
sorry,
out
that just
the.
reminded me of the Tartarians. Their technology was supposed to be so advanced that they could control the weather.
Oh,
So maybe if they were
that's
still
always a thing with
if
the
they were a
conspiracies.
civilization that was
It's always
still
a go-to.
alive, they can make it very hazardous for anybody to reach them.
I think that. So I think that for like in terms of like speaking to Amazonian stuff, I think that the world has been well charted in terms of landmass, right?
Mhm.
So if that were a thing, it'd have to be some weird. It would literally have to be that it would have to be
But if we're
Black
talking about
Panther,
it and at yes, if we're talking
but
about an advanced civilization, absolutely.
it would have to be almost like they were living like it would have to go as far as like the technology in that they were living in a alternate universe, right? And they were able to bounce back and forth because
When you look at Wakanda, it's not
what was that?
technically an alternate universe.
No, it was like hidden.
Yeah. And
But
if I'm
someone would
saying if
bump
you
into
had
it
the
with all of
technology, if these Tartarians really had the technology,
yeah.
they would be able to make it really foggy or really just to almost to maybe mirror of it not looking like anything's even there for
I
no reason for
mean,
anybody to even go. It just looks like maybe just open water.
maybe some cloaking stuff, but it's just that
And then
seems
as people get close, they can make the water super rocky and choppy and dangerous for them to
I
come.
mean, maybe we're going
I
out.
don't know.
We're getting further out on the cliff.
I love it.
We're about to
I
fall off.
love it. I love conspiracy theories,
I
and I
know,
am
but
so excited that I stumbled upon this new one
mhm.
from your favorite person that I follow, the person that believes
Which
that
one?
Earth is flat.
Oh, that guy?
Who believes Earth is
Oh,
flat?
so he also
Who
believes in
believes that the
Tartar?
Earth possibly could be flat?
No, he doesn't believe possibly. He's convinced.
Oh no,
You don't make that
I'm just
many
asking
videos
people.
until
I'm just asking people like if they think that like
what?
it's
The Earth
because
is
like I look at it this way, we
uh-huh.
once thought that.
Yes.
And, sometimes history
And
repeats
then we
itself.
went into fucking
Sometimes
space. We're like,
science
oh
goes
shit.
forward and sometimes science goes backwards. And so,
Uh-huh.
like, I mean, what if? What if?
I mean, it is
What
a
if
what if. I'm just
we're just
saying the if
in
is
a
a little bit
dome?
iffy.
What if we're just in a dome?
That's the way we've been
Truman
bantering.
Show.
That's the way. If you
This is the way.
the only way that I could see that being because there's so much just photographic, scientific evidence that postulates that the Earth is round is if we're in some weird fucking simulation like Matrix thing or whatever that where our minds are being warped, and that's the way I can get my head around it. But that's hard to like say that definitely is happening because if it's happening, we're not privy to it, obviously. So it's like one of those things where it's just
Well, we're definitely being controlled. That's for sure.
well, yeah,
And manipulated.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, by
So
Coca-Cola though, but not by
always Coca Cola.
fucking Coca-Cola and Starbucks and all that stuff. Hey,
That's a great time for advertisement. Carousel hair extensions, everybody.
but if you're going just to and then you're gonna want to cue up to the camera too.
Oh,
If you're gonna,
sorry.
there
I
you
have to
go.
take
There's right there.
deep.
There you go.
Wax on, wax off.
But speaking of the possibility of people living in what we think of as impossible circumstances, did you hear about this guy who broke the record for the most time living underwater? There's a guy who spent 74 fucking days. He might be actually going for another, but
Oh,
74.
okay, but he found like a pocket or something. Because I was like, wait, what?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he's not the
Oh,
world's
sorry.
best
Hey,
underwater
I
breather.
believe in mermaids. That could be for another.
But a
We actually
guy,
did do a podcast
he,
on that. If you guys want to
he
listen to
did.
Extra
I don't
Normal
remember anything
podcast.
about it. I don't remember what I had for
All I
breakfast, though.
remember, all I remember is that we brought that ugly mermaid figure. Where is
Oh,
that?
it's around.
Oh,
I don't bring it out. We have like a folk.
you
Like
stole it from your dad.
I did because I had to
I
have it.
just said it now, and she's probably following me on here.
Oh, whatever. I stole it from you, Dad.
You don't need it.
I'm
You
a
don't
dirty
need any
little
more
thief.
things.
I'm gonna steal that Marvin the Martian painting too. Just fair warning. They this guy, he's from Florida, so that doesn't mean anything.
You know what they say.
You know what they say. Florida people like to live underwater. No, that's not something. But he's a professor and he lives in Florida, and he broke the record by basically living 74 days in this little capsule underwater.
You would die.
I would last
You would
a half a day.
You would
and I'd be like,
you would
fuck
literally
this.
have a panic attack and flourish.
Yeah. Do you think and that kind of like
I think I could do it.
Do you think you could do it? You think you could 74 days, 74 fucking days. And you're eating shitty food. You're not eating like they're not bringing you like your Mastros or
Mastros.
Yeah, they're not bringing
that
you
would be
fresh
like
steaks.
the excitement.
You're eating
I
basically
know
NASA packets.
You would have that waiting for me when I come back.
I would have Arby's delivered
I've lived
down
off
in the
of
bottom of the ocean.
I've lived off of whatchamacallit, military food for a week. So I could
70
do it.
We're not talking about a week, we're talking about 74 days.
I know, but I know that what I'm capable of doing, because even by the time once you like detox out of all the shit food, how many diets have I been on, and detoxes and stuff. Once you detox from the shit food, your body doesn't even crave it anymore. So I think I could do it. I think my biggest fear is like just knowing that it's safe and like no sharks are going to be like burnt, trying to like break into my little bubble.
Oh my God.
How deep are you down? Like, can you see the surface? Are you like?
I think I don't know if you could see the surface. Let's read a little bit of it and see if they tell us any more.
Dude, if I fucking saw a mermaid, I would like.
Yeah,
I would cry tears of joy.
So
they're probably demonic.
A university professor broke a record for the longest time living underwater without depressurization this weekend at a Florida Keys Lodge for scuba divers. So there's hotels for scuba divers where you stay underwater.
He was a scuba diver?
He stayed in a hotel for scuba divers. I don't know.
A hotel underwater? Is that what it's called?
It's a lodge for scuba divers.
I
don't know what
that's where I think Atlantis is.
Ramada
I think Atlantis is in a bubble underwater somewhere.
Yeah,
giant bubble.
So I guess the question before we move on to the article, do you think so under the Atlantis theory, do you think they were like mermaid types where they could breathe underwater, or it was like literally it was like terraforming the bottom of the ocean?
I think they were at one point above sea level, but I think with their technology and their advancements, and then just with like great catastrophes and things that like the Great Flood and all those things, because of their technology, they were probably able to formulate something where they were able to.
They must have been arrogant pricks, right? Because at that time, like, there's less and less of land to go around. Maybe they were the Tartarians. But like, the people of Atlantis, say they built this city underwater. Like, there's plenty of land above.
City.
Was it just protection? Like, we're very, 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 very private. Like, we don't want people knocking on our door because there's plenty of land. Like, for them to, like, in the like scheme where they're building a fucking underwater city. Like, why? It's almost like the Dubai factor. How Dubai is building the tallest building for no fucking reason, and they're building islands out of nothing for no reason. Where the Atlantis just like, were they just rich like assholes who didn't give a shit? They're like, look how much money we have. We built a whole city underwater.
You really like. I always looked up to like the ancients not like
But
that.
they built it on
You're
land.
kind of ruining my dreams.
What are you why did they do it? It's such a waste of money. There's probably
No, if like I said,
the
if
landing starving.
there was a situation
Oh, there's a
where there was like a
situation.
flood or something, they'd have to, like
Well, they'd automatically be underwater whether they like it or not.
No. No, I don't believe that they were asked. I do not
They were
want to
fucking
believe.
rich as shit. If they were like, let's just build a city under
Now
fucking water,
I
they're
guess the
flexing.
Romans,
Atlantis.
fuck yeah, like fucking the Romans today are still dicks. Like
Whoa.
when I tell an Italian that
Shout
is
out to all
also
our Roman
Italian to like
listeners.
me, and if they're fucking Roman and they know that I'm from fucking where am I from again?
Chino.
Chino. When I tell them I'm Napolitan,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Oh, oh,
Oh.
oh,"
Ooh.
and the
Gross.
Sicilians are really prideful, but like, they like a lot of Sicilians don't even they won't say they're Italian. They'll be like, "I'm Sicilian," because
It's very region
they're
specific.
from a different island. So
But do you
it's
think
like
that's
we're the same, but they're not the same.
don't
You
you
know.
think that's like a part of a function of Italy being fairly recent? Like from a
Well, I
like a
don't know, cause like,
unified country.
so when I look at, like, Mexico, like, if somebody so basically, for people that don't know, like, how it goes with all the crazy Italians, it's like Naples, where my family's from, is basically like TJ, Mexico. So they were known to be like the lower class, the like not so like high end, like you'd have your Mexico City, right? Like very, very upscale, posh, beautiful, and then you have like the beautiful architecture there. That's just like Italy. So in Italy, it's like Rome. Like if you're from Rome, oh my gosh, like
The eternal
descendants
city.
of Julius Caesar, and it's like here's Naples and it smells like dog shit and there's stray
I
dogs
like
running
Naples.
everywhere. I like the stray dogs.
But Italy wasn't unified until 1848. So maybe it's
True.
just partly a function of that, like everybody kind of doing their own. And then like all of a sudden, like you guys are all together. Oh no, like we're actually like we don't feel like
Yeah.
whatever.
But that's like the first thing, like when where are you from? And then I always feel like when I tell people like they're like, oh. But if I was to say I was from Rome, it'd be like, oh. Like
Who who would
it's
make
just
that
it's a
sound?
thing.
Who would make
It's a
that sound?
thing. You're
Maybe someone
like
from Rome.
it's like Italians know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's listen. They gotta people from Atlantis gotta fucking cool it. They gotta fucking cool it. Hey,
You're so
you had a question about whether you thought that sharks might be poking into that Florida man's
they were,
little
weren't
vessel.
they?
No, but there's something more. There's something
Octopus?
more real and terrifying coming out of,
What?
of, of the news. So
They
apparently,
saw underwater UFOs.
no.
Damn it.
I mean,
I would die so
depending on footage, you
happy.
could
I
you
would
could
die so happy if I was down there and I saw
no. He didn't. Florida man didn't see any UFOs
that.
underwater.
Florida man.
Don't they call them something else? They don't call them UFOs. They call them submersible USOs, like unidentified
Yeah.
submersible,
Yeah.
something like it.
Something. Who
Whatever. Who
cares?
cares? Um, I saw there was an article that I stumbled across, and I heard in the news that apparently now killer whales have developed a fun little hobby,
Oh fuck.
and that fun little hobby is tipping over boats. So
No.
yeah,
How can they are scientists saying that it's a hobby or like
I mean it's definitely a hobby because they're not eating the food.
they're literally like people are in the water and they don't even eat them? They literally just want to tip the boat over?
They're not eating them. No,
What the
let
hell?
me pull up. Yeah,
That's so
let me pull up
scary.
an article on that because it is terrifying. Yeah, they've already
Wait, are we talking about like cruise ships?
no smaller boats. They're
Oh, okay. I'm
orcas.
like,
Orcas
because
are not
that
that strong.
concludes my love for cruising.
So here, let me read on. Then this comes from livescience.com. Orcas have attacked us and sunk a third boat off the Iberian coast of Europe, and experts now believe the behavior is being copied by the rest of the population. So other killer whales are learning they're teaching each other how to tip fucking boats.
Shamu.
3 orcas, also known as killer whales, struck the yacht on the night of May 4th
You know what? That good
in the
whales.
Strait of Gibraltar.
You know what, Shamu? We taught you well.
Off the coast of Spain and pierced the rudder. There were two smaller and one large orca. Skipper Werner Schalfberger told the German publication Yacht. Oh, so there's a German publication called Yacht. Can you imagine that magazine subscribing to yachts?
You know what's
Because
funny
you know what
though?
subscribing to yacht means? That means you not only have a fucking yacht, you're like open to buying another one, or you're like, oh, I could trade in my yacht for a bigger
Wow.
yacht.
What's
Crazy.
funny about those whales is that they're known to be like the dickheads of the ocean too.
Yeah,
Like,
they're aggressive.
they're just like assholes. They just fuck with everybody.
It says Schauberg said the little ones shook the rudder at the back while the big one repeatedly backed up and rammed the ship with full force from the side. So they're like coordinated. They're like it's like Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 3 basically of orcas. Like they're like going for it.
Oh my
Then
gosh.
there's speculation amongst scientists whether that it is a let me figure out the name. There's a apparently apparently of this group there was a of kind of a popular killer whales. There's like social circles where like it's like the popular kid. She accidentally got attacked by or got
The
hurt
popular one?
hurt by a boat. Um,
Oh,
and so the
so
theory is that they're John Wicking this shit. They're like now let's carry out revenge on these boats because they fucked our prom queen up essentially. Like
oh my gosh.
yeah, and so there's speculation behind that's what it's doing, and they're also thinking that like it's almost like like we have like part of what would interrupt us tonight was like a senior
Prank.
whatever senior prank day. They're thinking that maybe the killer whales this is also like a senior prank thing. It's like a fad, like it's like a TikTok trend where they're like it's like cool right now in the killer whale circles to like tip
Do they
boats
have
for shits and giggles.
personalities?
Killer
How does a
whales,
whale
yeah.
laugh? Like,
I don't know.
no, but like,
How do
so
how do they
does
express?
it give them joy, or is it just like fuck, like it's an anger thing? Like in
Well,
the
they don't
name
know
killer.
because nobody's interviewed whales yet.
Oh my god.
They're not talking.
I wonder
They're very
why.
hush hush.
Oh my gosh. So stupid.
Do you think? Okay, I got a question for you. Do you think that we can eventually get to the point that we've seen in all kinds of fucking cartoons and sitcoms and shit? Do you think eventually we're going to be able to translate animals like speech, or do you think it's even at that level? Like, do you
Yeah.
think our
Well, we
cats
already
are
are at
like?
that level with apes.
But no, I'm talking about cats. Do you think
Well,
it'll ever?
I think why don't you say the theory that you heard about cats?
So I heard. I don't know. I don't
It's the
know.
most adorable thing ever.
I heard that the basically a cat's meow is almost purely for humans. They obviously cats will make sounds for other cats, like protective sounds, like get the fuck away sound, or like a little
Hissing.
like or whatever. Like they make sounds towards each other. But the traditional meow we hear is actually made as like a plea to humans. Like they don't really do that. They kind of do that when they're babies, but generally speaking, if there was cats out in the world, they would ditch that shit. But they keep doing it into obviously adulthood because it's like it's a ploy for humans to
And I
feed me
just
more
love
fucking
that.
food and all that
I
stuff.
love that they talk for us. It's just it just makes them even more
But isn't it
adorable.
like isn't it
And they're so smart.
they are bright, but isn't it like a kind of like it's like a plea. It's kind of they're never like, "Hey, what's up?" Like they're always meowing because they want
No,
something from you.
Mr. Minnens totally what's up me.
You think he what's up to you?
He's like that cat, me and him are another wavelength.
So
We're on another level.
you think that when you walk through the door and that cat meows, you think that it's like, "Hey, what's up?" and not like, "Oh, she's home. Food time."
No, like if I'm in the bathroom doing something and not paying attention to him, he'll like jump up and be like, "Meow," like me and like give me attention.
Mhm.
Or like I always fuck with him and I'll just like stop and freeze and just stare at him. And he doesn't like, they don't animals don't want to make eye contact
'Cause
with
it's
you
a
because that's
threat.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
that means that we're gonna fucking box. So
Yeah.
he'll look at me and I'll just dead ass be staring at him, and then he'll like look away kind of uncomfortable, and he'll look at me again, and then he'll look away uncomfortable like, why is she staring? And I just won't take my eyes off of him.
Yeah.
And then he like meows at me to let me know like I'm not trying to be threatening, I love you. And then he comes over like he's like worried. It's the cutest thing. You've seen him do it.
But he's never it's never like hey,
Like,
how you doing? It's always like, pay attention to me, give me food,
or
give
he's
me water.
worried. Yeah. Or sometimes I
Or I'm
genuinely
worried.
think he's like he's worried about me. So he'll meow at me to kind of be like, what's wrong? Like, what's the matter?
But I don't think it's that. I think it's like pretty simple needs-based communication. I don't think it's like the reason why I don't think we'll ever get to the technology that you see in cartoons, unfortunately, with cats and dogs and all that stuff, is because it's very like the communication would be just like if we had a translator, it would be just like it wouldn't be like what you see in the cartoons where they're saying full-fledged fucking paragraphs.
They
It'd be
say
like
that
food,
cats, yeah. They say that,
scared,
well, they say that
like,
cats know they can like memorize at least like 80 words
oh,
that
they
we use
understand. I don't know if they
to 80
can
to 100
communicate.
words. Definitely more than dogs.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean that's pretty amazing. I
Do they
think.
have the mouth muscles? We're beyond it. Well, this episode should be titled "We're
No.
Beyond Our Scope of Expertise," but they don't have the mouth muscles to have
Did
sophisticated.
you know that speaking of mouth muscles, no.
Hey.
Did you know that Vietnamese like you have to learn the language at a young age because the way that they talk, a lot of words are in like the back of their throat. So you have to learn how to develop that at a young age. And so if you're trying to learn Vietnamese like later on in life,
You'll
like
have
you'll
a
never,
deep accent. It'll
you'll
be
never
noticeable
be able to
accent.
like
Yeah.
hit the notes in the back of the throat. One of my Vietnamese friends taught me that, and I thought that was
Oh
really
yeah,
fascinating.
that's cool.
So,
all right. Well, this has been an episode of Extra Normal Podcast. Again, my name is Christoph. Alongside me is
Brianna.
And you could follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, I guess we're technically on Facebook.
Well, usually if you guys want to catch us live, we usually go on my business account for Carousel Hair Extensions because I got a lot of followers on there.
Wow.
So, well, I'm saying that because
Humble brag.
you
It's
can.
like Atlantis.
Well, I'm saying that because you have to have so many followers to be able to go live.
I know.
So if people are like, why aren't you ever live on Extra Normal? It's because we're still building.
We're building.
Yeah.
We're
building a Atlantis empire.
Building. I prefer to say pyramids because I feel like the Egyptians, I'm going to say it. The Egyptians were cooler than Atlanteans?
I'll agree with you.
Atlanteans? Assholes undersea. Fucking, it's like a gated community.
Yeah,
under
they're
the
hiding
ocean.
from us.
They're hiding. Come out of the water.
I mean, do you blame them? I don't want like fuck.
Now I'd probably live in Atlantis.
Like, can we go? Take us with you.
Can I live there, please? Oh, it would be all seafood though. Yeah.
No, they probably brought lamb. And
you think there's cows floating around in Atlantis?
There's probably a whole farm.
Nah, they just eat seafood. It's just too convenient. It's right there.
They got
you got the freshest seafood in the world.
They can come up and down and all around.
They probably have a few cows as like a novelty. Like, hey, we got beef on the menu. Isn't this exotic? Anyways,
we have a Morton's.
This has been an episode of Extra Normal Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the fun social medias. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell to get those notifications. If you're listening on your favorite podcast machines, make sure you subscribe, follow, and give us a good rating. We appreciate you and have a great whenever you're listening.